Doug Jones again, Park Foundation. Would you honor your police officers if they were killed in the line of duty with the same that you would a service veteran? And for your information, on the 214, they do show a home of record. So you have the case where somebody could be stationed somewhere and has a home of record, and it could be killed in action or mishap or do whatever. So a home of record, you ought to
I was
consider
speaking
too.
more to, because my grandfather was from Brooklyn. He was based at Lackland. He met a woman, he married in Lackland, but all the family was still in New York. So it's similar if that was here in Floresville, he wouldn't be eligible because he'd established a residency, even though it was DD 214 from 45 years before, it said home of record Brooklyn.
But I would think you would honor also
Exactly.
your
That's
police
exactly what I
officers
just
killed
said.
in the line of duty,
Exactly.
because go blue. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? All right, state the vote. All those in favor of tabling?
5-0 here.
No one objects. Thank you. Let's see. Mr. Tony, step up. You've got CNA to the holiday extravaganza preliminary budget and make it short.
Okay. Several weeks ago, we had our budget meeting, and I was tasked by, I think it was you, Madam Mayor, to work up these numbers. You sent me on a little mission with talking about certain artists. You wanted me to bring back a budget that added food to the budget for the extravaganza. Historically, we had provided food was part of the ticketing. Last year it was part of the ticketing. This year I added food, and some people, me explaining, it only says $3,000. That's based on the actual VIP ticket. If you purchase a VIP ticket like last year, 200 VIP tickets were purchased, and that included food. I can't possibly budget food for every single person because there's a lot that don't want it. It's a waste of money that way. So there's a certain amount of tickets that somebody would want that specific type of ticket. And so I took the same number that we had last year and just input it into the budget. So once again on this budget, it showed what I was tasked to, and what most of the council had talked about was bringing an artist named Ramon Ayala and some supporting groups that go with that. And so I believe all of y'all have one of these budgets in front of you. And so these are pretty much the exact same numbers I presented to you at our council meeting, our special meeting that we had in here 2 weeks ago. The only difference is adding the $3,000 to food.
Tony, on that sponsor image thing, it's kind of low, $4,000 or?
You know what? Putting that $4,000 is actually double what we had last year. The difference between sponsorship and, like, let's say the 4th of July event and something like this is it's a larger community event,
Yeah, I got you.
a lot more people. This is really focused on a smaller niche of people. And so I don't want to commit something that we would come back and get in trouble on. Doesn't mean we can't go get more than that. I mean, we're going to go after
Looking at the two groups, I mean, you've got one on the bottom that says break even 475 people. And then on the top, you're showing your numbers with 700 sold.
Correct, because the budget on the left actually shows a profit.
Yeah, and then that's what I was getting at. So the budget on the right shows 700 sold in numbers, but that's a break even. So at 700, that's what we're losing. And to break even, we got 750 tickets.
Yes, sir. And it's a little variable. It depends how many of those people are actually, this is based on $16 per person drinking beverages.
Yeah.
It may skew up a little bit, it may skew down a little bit. The key to this right here is this particular artist needs to be contracted within the next 5 days, or else he is going to get another. We're the first in line.
Which one is that?
Ramon Ayala. Yes, ma'am. And also the key is to, once you get this going, we've got to start pushing it and working on sponsorship first.
And how much is his cost?
$30,000.
His cost, Ramon Ayala, $30,000 for a Saturday.
How does the board feel about this? Like
I don't see it right
you talk to the board?
This is a city of Floresville event and not a 4A event. I mean, I've spoken to community, some people out in the community, gotten some
And are we
good.
using any sales tax money?
This would be coming out of money that's been put aside, yes, it'd be sales tax.
It is a hotel motel tax, but it is the city who we put on this event, to represent.
So does it need to go for the advisory board, or already did? For this year?
You don't have to go before the advisory board.
Well, we don't have to, but.
Other people do, but you don't.
Sorry, Fred.
Like anybody else coming to the board,
Like Peanut Festival, when you allotted money, it went before the Business and Tourism Bureau, who works very hard, by the way. Thank you, Madam Mr. Chairman. But city events do not need necessarily to get approval from them to move forward.
So on your actual cost here, where does it show like any funds from the hotel motel tax being used towards this?
It doesn't, it doesn't show on here, actually, it just shows total revenue and just the
What did
expenditure.
that benefit? I mean, whether it's, your forecasted total, or, because like, you're showing a loss here, but if you're using $15,000 of hotel motel tax, I mean, then technically there's not a loss.
We're talking about just the event itself, so what you paid out, wherever the
So
funds.
just, okay, so just, sorry, just from a cost analysis.
Just a cost analysis portion of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, doing the event itself, I mean, we try not to do events. Our first goal is to break even, then if we can make more money, we'll do
So
that.
who did you contact that it was 30,000?
I've got the contract in hand, it's from one of the other people from Frank Zuniga.
So what?
Frank Zuniga?
Frank Zuni?
Yeah.
I believe that's the next item on your agenda.
That's nice.
All right, and
So
then,
what you're saying is that if we go with the first, with Jay Perez and Jimmy Gonzalez and Ram and those desperados, we're supposed to make a profit?
yes, ma'am. But you have to understand, those artists right there, those artists we talked to 3 weeks ago. They may not be, I know Jay Bettis did not want to wait till the time that we met at city council.
So he still may be available.
He may be available.
He wasn't gonna hear, yeah.
Right.
So you're the only one making the contact with him, or do you have a little team that you're going to talk to?
On these particular artists right here, I'm
We
making the
have
contact.
next item, the contract.
No, he's just asking, he's making contact.
Yeah,
Just like last year, we used that.
But I-
There's certain artists, I make most of the contacts. Sometimes there's other people I could go through that sometimes can get it cheaper than I can. I'm always trying to get the cheapest rate. I'm not gonna pay somebody a finder's fee or anything like that. We've gone through that before, I don't wanna do that again.
But the artist, I don't know if you were at the meeting, but the artist that he selected, actually presented two other options as well. And I think these are the two that the council at that meeting said to narrow down and to focus on. And so that's what that's coming before.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Tony, on the gold chart on there, are the tickets more expensive for that?
Yes, they are.
I
Yes,
just
they are.
noticed that there was-
Based on the artist, we have to cover more expense, so the price is a little bit
What
higher.
are you looking at for that, Tony? What price?
For, on Ramon Ayala, we're looking at between $30 a ticket and 50. Still trying to stay within that range.
Yeah, that was 25 to 40.
Yeah, I was trying not to go higher than what we went last year. I'm trying to work a little smarter than we did last year.
$40
to get there.
Price.
Now, there's one thing, I don't know, are we talking about the contract yet?
No,
Okay.
they have, okay.
I think on the
So what we need
budget,
you to do, I mean, your attorney said, what we need to do is approve a budget. And once you approve a budget, that either budget that you have, then we can talk about a contract,
Yeah.
do the contract, because he needs money to hold that date. He's asking for a deposit, and so we can't do the contract until you all approve the budget.
What was the next, and for what date is this? For December 10th?
December 10th, Saturday.
Saturday?
Yes, sir.
before we approve the contract, let me ask you about the artist. In the past,
We're on the other one with the budget.
well, I know, in order for the budget, for the show to be successful, there has to be some questions asked regarding the artist.
Yes, sir.
Previous shows have been successful based on social media, their websites. What type of outlets does the artist that you want to have
I mean, on most artists, and good question, because I don't have this answer for you in writing, because I want to, most artists will help us and push on their social media. One thing I need to make sure that's in place on this particular contract, especially when you're paying somebody such a high dollar, is I need to make sure, first thing in the morning, that they have on my contract a 30-day in and a 30-day out. And what that means is this artist can't go perform in San Antonio the week before our event, or they can't go play in Carson City the week after our event. I got to try to protect our interest, and normally on a bigger artist, it would be a 30-day in, 30-day out. You'd like to get 60 days, but most of them just won't do that. But because it's a significant investment for us. Anyway we go, if we go get an artist that's $5,000 or $30,000, we don't want them playing down the street. And so that's one thing I do need to make sure that is in there to try to protect us.
Who would you rather see in here?
I don't know any of them. But it seemed like the council guy was really excited when he mentioned him last time, so I'm like, go get him.
He's,
I mean, how many people were there last year?
Last year, we had 478 people paid. We had about 710 people that actually attended the event based on radio giveaways and things like that.
And just from your, I mean, just your personal thought off the record, when you had La Mafia, now you have Ramon Ayala. Will Ramon Ayala draw that many more people than La Mafia? I mean, I know La Mafia hasn't played in a while, but in this area, will he draw that many more people?
Like any promoter is they can't do it themselves. I'd go buy radio. I'd go buy Facebook advertising, which we need to do. I need to enlist as many people within our community to help do that as well and help promote.
Ramon does this self-advertising, where he plays the people go.
Yeah, I mean, Ramon's big. He is big, okay?
You'll have a packed house.
And I do ask Mr. Tejada and whoever else, and Dr. Ms. Moronis earlier about it, is I know what I'm doing in regards to events, but I do not know Floresville 100% like you guys. You've been living here a lot longer. And so I'm going to use my expertise, absolutely. But I need, that's why I've been conferring with other people as well.
Okay, what you said there, you want to attract Floresville, but remember it's hotel motel.
Absolutely.
So
And
you
that,
gotta bring people from the outside.
that is why we have to have the 30-day in, 30-day out, okay? Usually it's a 30-day in, 30-day out. Usually you're trying to get 60 miles radius. So they're not going to play in San Antonio, you know, or a closer city. I mean, I got to try to get that as big as possible, the radius.
Make this an event that people want to travel to, from Austin, from Corpus, from the Valley.
Absolutely. I mean,
That's what it's been.
and I've been doing some research on a lot of these other towns, Victoria, Beeville, those kind of places, and they're doing some specific advertising and social media that's focusing on the city and doing the advertising there to get them here. And we're going to do that. I put a little bit of that in the budget. It's not too expensive, but it takes a group of people to make these kind of things happen.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the budget. I think the numbers for attendance is low for this particular artist.
And I'd much rather under promise and
Be
over
very
deliver.
conservative on that, but I'm going to make a motion that we approve your budget.
May I have a second?
The gold.
Gold with or without food?
With or without food? That was the big question you had in our last planning meeting.
And then, the Desperados more than Ram this year, or,
Ram, yes. Desperados are cheaper than Ram.
no, that's $500 if you're gonna bring, you know, 40 people.
We could inquire with Ram.
Have those been contracted?
No.
Would you say like Ram still those Desperados? Yeah.
The other slot we're looking at putting in a local band, the Good Times Band.
Yeah, Ram is $500 more than those Desperados.
Let me just make one comment on that.
Ram doesn't affect the people.
One thing I've been doing ever since the last extravaganza is talking to a lot of citizens, and the 21 to 35s have been all asking for something like that. They've mentioned Desperados because it's Ram, Rosa de la Rosa, but that's
Yeah,
a
they
little high.
they don't come to these events.
Well, and that's what they're asking, you know, and I'm trying to get that happy medium where I'm representing more constituents
The
than just my
population
group.
that's gonna come to these events, it's not the 21, 35.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, I would be one of the younger ones,
All right.
at 40.
One request that I'm going to put under, that you also looked at a local band.
The Good Times Band is.
Yeah, they're last year, I think, performing, if we could put them in, they have a lot of history in our town.
I'm gonna work with them, I'm gonna call them to work some times out with them. I might try to get them to do 2 sets to where, I don't think the Desperados are gonna open the show.
Okay.
Okay, but I wanna see if I can do Good Times Band to open, Desperados play, and then get Good Times Band in one more time right before the headline.
Okay, sounds good.
That's my idea.
So we don't know, Councilman?
If you have VIP tickets, you can get maybe some food sponsored, like a small, like this little d'oeuvres or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We will, and just so you know, we will have somebody there selling food all night.
Yeah, selling the food,
Yeah.
I think selling the food, like you last time, the menu though.
Yeah, and all that kind of
We
stuff.
talked, I think that's good, but serving it,
Yeah, no,
Okay,
I agree with you.
okay.
Sounds good.
Well, I'll modify that and I'll get that to Henrietta.
we like your rap.
We have a motion and a second.
Who made the second? I'm sorry.
I'll make it the second.
didn't hear it.
Yeah, Danny with the first.
I'll second it.
Okay,
The gold
The
budget.
goals for the
for the gold one.
Ramona,
We already have a motion and a second for the gold one.
Minus the
Any
food.
citizens' comments? Fred?
Mr. Fred?
Are you gonna stay for us?
Mayor, council, I'm Fred Gonzalez and I live in Floresville. This is a minor thing, but it's principle with me. Folks get up here and you're looking at figures and he's looking at figures. We don't even know what amount of money we're talking. Would you mind giving us at least an idea? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Any others, were you going to say something pertaining to this? Okay, any other citizens' comments on this one? All right, let's take a vote. All those in favor? Raise your right hand.
Is this on the
On N,
No.
this is on the
On
budget.
the budget.
On the budget of the whole,
Yeah. All those in favor? Raise your right hand.
How much are we talking about if you don't mind, please?
for the entertainment,
the budget?
41,
They're talking about.
well, without the food, about $45,000.
45,600.
45,000.
Thank you.
Oh, that's the food.
I don't think I got a complete vote.
It's just a
All
matter
those
of
in
principle.
favor?
I want to know what you
I
guys.
did not
Right
see,
hand.
That's fine.
three,
The jumbo?
I only have three, 450 now.
She's asking.
Okay, thank you. All those opposed? 0. All right, the next item is to approve the holiday extravaganza music contract for Ramona Ayala.
Mayor and council, the contract's in front of you. Most of the times, these larger, especially the larger type of groups, want a large deposit, 50%. They're asking for 50%, but they're gonna split it up into two payments instead of one. I did make mention previously, I read over the contract several times, there's one thing that I need put into this particular contract. It's not gonna change the deposit, it's not gonna change the amount, but it's gonna change, I need to have 30 days in, 30 days out to protect us, that they cannot perform. That's the only thing.
I would also, Tony,
Yes,
what
sir.
is the requirement of social media?
Okay. Co-advertising.
Yeah.
I should have been in conference this one.
And from a legal standpoint, just a couple of the dates need to be updated because we technically already be in breach because we're past the 25th.
Correct.
Deposit.
Yeah, and I did email them and I told them we would be working on it.
Also,
After approval by council and mayor also.
Right, because it says
since we
30,000.
have already an agreement with one of the TV stations,
Yes.
would the artist be available for any TV interviews?
I'll work on that. I am working with, because I have another show coming up in the events, and I'm working with all the artists to at least get some social media videos to where they can say, hey, I'm Ramona Ayala, you see me December 10th, that kind of thing. So I'll be working on all that, try to get it maximized as much as possible.
No, he wants cash before the event.
And typically, they do want cash because they pay out their band at that time. But that's what they want.
We'll go with that.
IRS.
I'm sure that's why.
Who did the second?
No, Ortiz.
You asked for a second.
Second,
Lord made the motion.
Councilman Ortiz made the motion. Do I have a second? None from this side, so please. No second?
Nieto, second.
I have anything left in that 2.5 million, I
You doing all the hard work.
Have a
only
motion.
brought two today.
A motion and a second. Citizens' comments? Mr. Fred, any comments on this one? None. All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
If you want,
Thank you.
Thank you. I will be looking you up.